Hey everybody, welcome back to Battle Ready Inc. So this week's feature match was Hexablaumon versus Dynasmon, and we're now going to feature the Dynasmon deck, and this thing is crazy in the combos you can do. This is going to be a Mastamon variant, however at the end I do have some other ones I want to talk about that you could play in place of the Mastamon, but things have changed. Okay, Wizardmon has been released, and Wizardmon makes these cards so much better. Makes this whole combo deck thing a reality because of gaining more memory like this. This is pretty fire. Don't forget, our memory marker for the month of October is going to be the Egg of Courage here. This is Flamedramon's egg, for you that are not familiar with Adventure 2. Getting really excited for those reveals from JP for the next set. Going to have, hopefully, Armored Digimon. It's supposed to have Armored Digimon, so these things are about to get really, really popular. Can't get anything like this anytime soon. Makes great memory markers, handmade out of clay by my wife. Probably the most intricate paint job we've had thus far on the channel. Like, absolutely just gorgeous memory marker. If you want any of our previous memory markers that we've had on the channel, though, check the coffee link in the description below, and there you can see all of our previous memory markers we've had on the channel with all their like revised paint jobs and everything, and all updated now. The only difference is, though, that if you go through Patreon, you get the current memory marker a whole month early before it even goes live for sale on Coffee. So definitely a benefit of getting it nice and early going through Patreon, as well as it can save you some money, because as these get more and more advanced and get more complicated, then definitely going to get more expensive, but Patreon will stay stagnant at that $20, so which includes shipping, by the way. Alright, so let's go ahead and jump into this. As we go through, I've got some alternatives of cards that you can choose, and we'll just kind of like build the deck as we go, and it should be a lot of fun here. So BBmon is going to be our first egg, and I wouldn't say this deck is too stally. It is kind of a little bit, but I don't really feel the need for a fifth egg in this one. This one is just so, like, you want to have it. When the time comes for BBmon to be live, you want it to be live and on field, ready to go. You don't want to have the wrong egg out at the wrong time, because when attacking once per turn, if you have 3 security, exactly, gain 1 memory. So gaining memory off of a baby is insane. Literally, any of your rookies, just Digivolve a rookie onto this. If you're at 3, you can swing with it and gain memory. So it takes almost no setup beyond being exactly at 3, which this deck is all about recovering and just and spending security and gaining. So it's all about keeping yourself at that like perfect spot of 3 memory. And we'll see it in a lot of our other effects here. Next, we got the new Pulsemon here, and the Inheritable is the main reason we're here. While you have 3 security cards, this Digimon gains jamming, so we're giving out jamming to anything in our deck that has this as an Inheritable, as long as, again, you're at that prime number of 3 security, so right where we want to be. He does have this on-play effect of you may trash cards from the top of your security stack until there are 3 left. Gain 1 memory for each security card trashed. So you can either make him free or 1, whatever you want to be at. Now, it is a may effect, so you may trash the cards from the top of your deck until there are 3. Now, it's like an all or nothing. It's not like I just want to trash 1. No, it's you trash all until you're at 3, or you don't do it at all. So it's a may effect here. Really good, though, for making all your other stuff live. So if you're all set up, ready to go with like your BBmon, or you've got another Pulsemon that has stuff on top of it already, you just need to put yourself at 3. You can slam down one of these Pulsemons to take yourself down to 3 and get all those effects immediately live. So it is nice when it does come up. Next, we got 4 of the other Pulsemon, our good old promo Pulsemon for yellow that's in like every yellow deck ever, just because it's incredible. We all know what it does. If you're at 3 security, if you have 3 or more, you draw 1. If you're at 3 or less, you gain 1 memory. If you get to play him for free, if you watch the feature match, we went Mastamon, played him out to gain memory to keep it on our turn. Super, super cool, very relevant card. Absolutely love Pulsemon. especially in this deck, because we can really abuse a lot of memory gaining. Next, I got the 2 Bushi Agumon in here, just the 2. We can play him for free because we are running the Angelmon that plays rookies from hand for free, as well as we've got Mastemon who can also play this guy for free. Used to, you would have to almost always go Pulsemon with Maste to keep it on your turn, but now that we have Wizardmon, we can keep it on our turn and pick something else. So picking Bushi Agumon with Mastemon and still being able to like swing with it, very, very cool. But just the 2 of, it's not like a super aggro deck and we're just trying to rush as fast as possible, so he's not like a must-have mandatory card that we want to go with every time. There's plenty of other targets that are really cool that we can use. Next up is our flex spots that we've got. What I personally have been really liking is picking 2 of these and then bumping them up to 2. So you're going to drop 2 of these 4, and then the 2 remaining are each going to go up to 2 copies. But I did want to go ahead and discuss all 4 of them, so that way you would be informed in making your decision of which one you wanted to go with. First up, we got the new Tapirmon, and just this inheritable was kind of neat. Of when a card is removed from your security stack, trigger draw 1. My logic on this though is that by the time you're using those effects that are trashing, you're going to already kind of have the cards you need in hand. So stuff like Mastemon coming out, trashing, Dynasmon coming out and trashing, all those cards, once you have them on field, you just evoed into them and you're trashing your security. I don't think the Tapirmon's as live anymore. Well, it's not. He's live. He's just not as useful anymore because you've already clearly got your Mega out and you're good to go. But there are times that, that might not be the case. So argument could be said for him. Next, we got Cutiemon here. And this card is still just relevant as ever. Your opponent can't reduce Digivolution cost. Imperialdramon is still a deck that's still knocking on doors, okay? It gets even better come Classic Collection, which is going to release, at least for US, almost immediately after, in theory, after the release. It's like a week afterwards is what they've set it to. I don't know how that's going to happen, but according to them, it's going to happen. So Cutiemon here, preventing that is great. It also turns off things like Mega Digimon Fusion that reduces Digivolution cost. Turning off that card is always nice. There's just so many applications for this card. I think it's kind of still a good staple to have. A memory blocker would probably be more impactful, but Cutiemon still going to be pretty relevant. And as long as green is a deck, Cutiemon will never not be useful as long as green is a color. So you'll always face those rogue green decks anyway. Rafflesiomon's still really popular, still going to probably see a lot of play just because it's kind of the only way to play green. They're going to get their new their big horse there, but that's just going to add into the deck. It's not going to be its own deck. Next, we got Salamon here, which I'm really, really liking as our other good target here, and this is the recover 1. As long as you're at 3 or fewer security, when it gets deleted, you get to recover 1. Like I said, this deck is all about trashing your own security and then recovering, trashing and recovering, tons and tons. So Salamon here to just kind of make sure that you're always staying in a healthy range to make sure that's always getting triggered. And then last, there's always argument for a vanilla. A 2 play cost vanilla is always just a comfortable spot to be at. But I think, personally, I really like the Cutiemon and the Salamon as my 2-ofs that I want to go with to add into my 2-of Bushi Agumon. So that'll put us at 14 rookies. And next we got our level 4s here, and if you'll notice, I'm really liking the spread, the wide spread of things. I noticed a lot of decks that were performing well in BT5 were decks that weren't maximizing at 4 of copies. They were hitting 2s and 3s of copies. Heck, even 1 copy of cards were just, as long as you have a nice diverse spread, you're always going to have the options to do different plays, and I think that's really relevant. So this format, I'm really liking cutting down a little bit on numbers just to fit in more diverse plays that we can go into. Now I say that, and then immediately Wizardmon is at a 4 of, but Wizardmon is just absolutely makes this deck a thing. At least for me personally, you'll have your memory fixer that's going to always put you at 3. After that, both your megas that are in this deck are 4-cost Evos. But both their effects, they have when Digivolving effects that trash security. So when you do that, Wizardmon immediately gets procced, and that inheritable of when a card is removed from your security, gain 1. So you're both of them with a memory fixer, you'll put your opponent to 1, and then you'll go back to 0, keeping it on your turn. So Wizardmon is absolutely important. It is like if you're building into a Evo stack, Wizardmon is going to be your go-to level 4. If you want a level 4 that will never get Digivolved on top of, that's what these guys are for. We've got the Unimon here. I've discussed this in like every one of my deck profiles so far for BT6, but the 6,000 DP blockers is like the way to go. For BT6, these guys are going to be a must because of Jesmon. Jesmon is going to be played in such force. I mean, 50% of all players at any big event, I guarantee it, will be Jesmon. So being able to block the game-winning swing is what you need to keep these guys around for. Jesmon itself is going to have piercing. So Jesmon is going to swing, clear all your security. After that, you need to still have your blocker on field to stop the Omnimon play if they're going to blitz Omnimon. If they've got like a Gunimon to go on top of their Tamer to swing for game, with a red memory boost, that's really easy to do now. So being able to stop those game-winning swings is what you need your blockers for against Jesmon. I'm just using Jesmon as an example of why the 6,000 DP is more important. It's not to stop the Jesmon itself. It's to stop everything that follows that's going to win them the game. That's what you need your blocker not to die just to the pop that Jesmon gets to do. Next, we got Bulkmon here, and I'm really liking Bulkmon in this format. If you saw my Agumon Bond of Courage, I'm going to say it, Courage, deck profile, I've got the new Greymon in there. He's swinging for 7,000, checking 2 security. Boltmon's doing something super similar. While you have 3 or more security, which is a lot easier to trigger than being at just exactly 3. So he's a great early game piece here. This Digimon gets security attack +1. Going against those Bonds decks, everything in those decks is super low. I mean, you can swing over it super easy. And then if you combine it with the Pulsemon here to give him jamming, 2 security checks on a level 4 with jamming is really, really nice. So I'm really, really liking Bulkmon. Just there's so much in the meta that's all just super weak, as well as stuff like security control that's going to be just a really stacked security. If I'm going to swing in and trigger something that's going to blow up my Digimon, only thing I want out on field for them to target is this little level 4 here. I want them to waste those big old options, the Wyvern's Breath, the Gaia Forces, all those big 8-cost options that could potentially nuke my poor Mastamon and Dynasmon. I'd rather them just hit this Bulkmon early game with those. So just out of 2 of, it's nice when you can get, when the opportunity arises to go on top of your jamming Pulsemon and then swing with this guy just for a whole bunch of checks is really cool. Next, we got the Gatomon. Again, we're all about recovering, right? So, again, this is another great card, on play, recover 1. That's really awesome. But we do have Mastamon in this deck. And anytime I play Mastamon in a deck, I really like to be able to throw Gatomon in there. Just because while you have a purple Digimon on the field, he gets blocker, or she gets blocker. Also, if you go Mastamon to bring her out of trash, you get that on-play recovery. Because, Mastamon's going to bring your security down, probably, at the 3 or lower. And then you bring out the Gatomon to recover that back. So it's like the Mastamon, didn't even matter. And you're going to trigger Wizardmon to keep it on your side. Now you got this blocker on field with the Mastamon. Really, really cool combos that you can get out with the Gatomon. So just out of 2 of, kind of keep it in hand for those emergency situations where you need to recover, as well as just get it into the trash as fast as possible. So Dynasmon, when you do his mill effect, all the ones you don't choose go to the trash. So picking like Gatomon to go to the trash just is super easy to set up your trash for your Mastamon. Another great reason this deck combos so well together is because the Dynasmon sets your trash up perfectly for your Mastamon to come in and pick exactly what you want to play for free. So yeah, 2 of Gatomon. Next up, we got our level 5s here, and again, a diverse spread. Rise Greymon is really, really sweet. I've been enjoying this. In my Lord Nightmon build, I actually went ahead and threw one of these guys in there just to get that TK on field. So you're going to Digiburst 2, get a free Tamer on field. You're going to have TK in these decks. I mean, it's just a given. Memory fixers are important. You can't really play this game these days without a memory fixer, depending on the deck you're playing. Some you can, most you can't. So getting that out, getting that free check with TK to grab what you need, and then when you Digivolve on top of this guy, because he's treated as yellow on your own turn, swinging with him, and you should have a Tamer on field if you're used his effect. One of your opponent's Digimon gets 2,000 DP for the turn. Now this is really, really prevalent in BT5, way more probably than BT6 will be, just because if you look at Rookie Rush, it's got all those yellow Digimon in there, and stuff like Starmons and memory blockers and things like that. Being able to just delete those instantly, minus 2k, like tons of rookies are at minus 2,000. So you can just completely delete those instantly with Rise Greymon, as well as being able to swing over. So both these guys are at 12k, which is pretty good, pretty solid. But minus 2k can lower things like Azulongmon, his 13,000. You can lower that down to 11. Swing over that finally. Nidhoggmon, because green doesn't have a whole lot of new tools, they're probably still going to run Nidhoggmon. So being able to lower that Nidhoggmon to finish it off is really, really important. If you absolutely want to crash, you can lower a Blitz Omnimon down to 12 and then crash into it with the Rise effect. He helps out tremendously, and I'm absolutely loving having him in yellow decks, just for all the different things that we can do with him. The free Tamer is incredible. The minus 2k on a rookie to kill a free rookie just because is absolutely wonderful. Memory blockers really ruin this deck's day. It turns off your Wizardmon and things like that. So if you've got him out there from a previous turn, you can swing and delete those pesky memory blockers with him. Great stuff. Yeah, not really much else to say. Next, we got the Angelmon. This is just, again, more recovery. When Digivolving, if you have 3 or less, recover 1. We're trashing our own. I've said it before. We're trashing our own, so it's important that we get multiple recovery. If we don't have the Dynasmon procs and we're using all these other effects that are trashing our security, making sure to have your way to get that security back is very important. So I really like this Angelmon here. Skip this one for a second. Let's go talk about Sirenmon here. I think there's always argument, again, for a vanilla. 2-cost Evo, super cheap, okay? Plenty of times you just need to make plays and go 2 Evo cost and then go into and keep it on your turn and then go into your Mega afterwards. Always argument for that. 5 play cost for level 5, that's still solid. If you brick real bad, just slam down a Sirenmon to pass turn. Your opponent kicks it back over to you, and then boom, now you're going into your Mega and you're off to the races. So yeah, but I think that besides those like niche things, I think I like the Angelmon more. The recovery one here, just to have a nice, more balanced setup. 7,000 might not seem like a lot, but this 7,000 swings over all those 6,000 DP blockers that are now going to be everywhere. You need to be able to swing over those 6,000 DPs, and 7,000 is perfect for that. If you give yourself jamming with this, also another great thing. So, you can go on top of that Pulsemon, put yourself at 3 with that recovery, and now you can just swing with your jamming. So even if they don't block it, you still got that jamming, which is really great. Next, we got Angelmon from BT3 here. This is the one that's really important. This is like the most important level 5 for the deck. Again, argument could be made even to run this at a 4 of. When Digivolving, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 2 security attack. Pretty relevant. I've used the crap out of this in BT5. Just absolutely one. In BT4, I used the crap out of this in BT4. Being able to just minus 2 security attack onto big problematic things that you can't remove. We're in yellow this format without a whole lot of removal. It's weird. But being able to reduce the security attack is almost a good supplement for not having all that DP minusing for clearing. So that's pretty cool, but really it's all about this when attacking. If you have 3 or fewer security cards, again, that magic number of being at 3 security, you may play a level 3 Digimon from your hand without paying its memory cost. That's a great great effect. All the rookies that we have here, you know, we don't necessarily have too many on-play effects, you know, outside of like Pulsemon here, but Bushi for game, right? Playing Bushimon off of Angelmon to get another check-in. If you really need to Pulsemon here, the other one to gain memory, you know, you can do that. Just setting up other future turns, getting the recovery for the Salamon, being able to reduce or stop reduction effects with the Cutiemon. You know, we've got great rookies that we can trigger with this Angelmon, just being able to slam those suckers down on field. Lucymon is a great one to play off of this. To, again, just recover. It's almost like playing security control, but without like the security control options in hand. You're recovering security so fast that your opponent can't get through that, while you're just using all your other things to clear your opponent. But you're also hurting yourself. Like I said, we hurt ourselves a good amount in this deck, so being able to recover back off of all the pain that we inflict on ourselves is pretty prominent. And speaking of hurting yourself, here is Mastamon first. When Digivolving, trash one card in both of your both players' security stacks. Really great. We can just make up for that so easily because then play one of your purple or yellow Digimon with a level of 4 or less from your trash without paying its memory cost. Again, so Mastamon here for Evo. When you got your Wizardmon underneath, you're going to trash that security. Wizardmon's going to give you 1 memory back, and then you're going to play you know, one of your level 4s from your trash, level 4 or lower. So you could go Gatomon to recover off of that. Lucymon, you can recover off of that. Pulsemon here to give you another memory. Say you don't have that Wizardmon underneath there. You can go Pulsemon potentially to give you a memory back and keep it on your turn. You can go Bushi for game. You know, there's tons of plays that we can do with the Mastamon here. Just trashing and then bringing something back is really, really good stuff. Next, we've got Dynasmon here. Same kind of premise. You're going to Digivolve for 4, and immediately when Digivolving, trash the top card of your security stack. That's going to trigger Wizardmon, which is going to bring your memory back to 0, keeping it on your turn. Also, then you can reveal the top 6 cards of your deck. Add up to 2 level 6 or lower Digimon cards among them to your hand. Trash the remaining cards. It doesn't say anything about color, so if you want to add a purple Mastamon, go for it. You can do that, which is really cool, because once you have your Dynasmon on field, you really want to get that Mastamon out next, because they combo great together. And then because he's going to set up your trash, and so now your trash is set because of your Dynasmon, and then so when your Mastamon comes out, you know, your trash is ready to go for her. Also, all turns, this effect is absolutely bananas, but once per turn, when a card is removed from your security stack, if you have 3 or fewer, recovery 1. So all those same premises that we were talking about earlier of like Mastamon being able to recover back after she hurts yourself, Dynasmon just does that. You don't need to play any other cards. Dynasmon is he's just got your back, okay? You're gonna hurt yourself, he's gonna recover because of it. Some really, really crazy plays is like Blinding Ray is going to trash this top card of your security stack, gain 2. If you've got your Wizardmon already in play, you know, you're good to go. You're going to essentially gain 3 because of that. And then you can go like Dynasmon, or say you're at 3 memory, and, you know, you can go like a level 5, do that play, go into like a level 5 and a level 6, it all works. It's so wild of how like crazy the combinations can be with this, of just different varying. If you saw the feature match, the ending of the feature match was just insane. That last turn for yellow was just like, I've started with 3, I've essentially gained 6 memory throughout my whole turn. Just multiple Wizardmon procs, the Blinding Rays, really cool stuff. Multiple Pulsemons, like getting to play the Pulsemons for free off the Angelmon, and then playing them for free off the Mastamon. Just that last turn is nuts. So really cool stuff. Now, I do have 2 Wyvern's Breath in here. Because we're not playing Valderarm in this. I don't like Valderarm in a deck where I'm playing Mastamon, okay? Because Valderarm can't go on top of Mastamon. That's a really big bummer. Also, I don't like to Digivolve on top of my Dynasmon because I'm going to lose that effect of the Recover 1 every time I take a damage. That's essentially every turn, my opponent has one more security to go through than anything else. So Volderarm just never felt good in this variant. So Wyvern's Breath is like my 2 of for dealing with big targets. Minus 15,000 DP. So that's even more powerful than Volderarm is anyway. So really, really crazy stuff. 2 more memory cost, but I get to keep my Mega on field with my really cool effects, and I get to kill something. Also, it activates Insecurity, which previously, like things like Glorious Burst, they didn't trigger Insecurity. And that was always a really big bummer. So having this trigger Insecurity feels much better. Just kill anything you want. And I think it's important to have removal just in any deck. It's one of the things I've always kind of struggled with of, well, if my deck performs like it should, I shouldn't need any kind of removal. There's going to be situations where your opponent's just going to get in something big and scary, and if you don't have a way to deal with it, you just might lose just because it's a big scary thing. It's checking a lot of security. I can't push enough damage fast enough. Even though I'm in a fast deck, I can't push enough to win before they win. So Wyvern's Breath just it's an equalizer. It's just a big equalizer. I'm definitely in favor of at least 2 removal things moving forward. If my color has a good removal card, I'd like to at least play 2 of it. Just for those situations. All right, next up is our kind of like our option lineup, so to speak. I view Lucymon as an option. I don't really view him as a traditional rookie in my rookie lineup of 14. I like 14 rookies that can Digivolve and be Digivolved on top of. Lucymon is not that, so I don't like to have him included in my 14. He's more like an option slot, if at best. So being able to play him for free off of Mastamon, so if he gets trashed through multiple different means, he gets hit in security, you reveal him off a Dynasmon, whatever it is, Mastamon gets to play him for free. If you've got him in hand, you can go Angelmon to play him for free. He's really easy to play for free in this deck. So I bumped him back up to 2. In BT5 of Lord Knight, I actually bumped him down to 1, just because I wasn't triggering, getting him off for free as much as I like, even with Lord Nightmon's effect. I also just never really needed it. I never really hurt myself in Lord Nightmon aside from a Blinding Ray. In this deck, though, recovery is a little bit more important than it was in those other builds. So I really like the idea of having multiple things of recovery in this deck. Next, we got 3 TKs. I think moving forward forever, for the foreseeable future at least, 3 memory fixers in all my decks. I absolutely want 3 memory. It's just maybe 2 memory fixers at the absolute lowest, but I really like having 3 just to guarantee I get it as soon as possible. And then his effect is really cool. So normally, you're going to reveal a card and then recovery 1, you're good to go. Doesn't really change your memory. Now, you can kind of, with Dynasmon, he is almost like a recovery option just on his own. So you're going to, say you're at 3 security, you're going to take 1 away, or say you're even at 4, you're going to take 1 away with TK and then replace it, and then you're going to immediately trigger the Dynasmon to recover another one. So you'll actually go from like 4 to 5. After the TK effect, you'll always go up 1 higher than you were at previously because if Dynasmon is on field. Now, that's only if you're proccing the Dynasmon, so you need to be at 4 or less security before you activate that. So that's really cool. It's just a 4 play cost, recover 1, memory fixer, and add a card to my hand that I need. I get to pick from 4 different options there in my security and add it to hand. Well, that's a lot going on. That's a lot going on in a card. That's really cool. Next is, I think this is going to be like a choice of which one you would prefer. At first, I was like, okay, TK and Kari, we finally got our duo tamer for yellow. I'm really digging it. If you have fewer security than your opponent, gain 2. We're all about hurting ourselves, so putting ourselves lower than our opponent, super easy, not a big deal. The second effect, though, not really that relevant. When one of your yellow Digimon attacks, you may suspend this tamer to have one of your opponent's Digimon get minus 1,000 DP. Not a whole big, special thing. The rest of the deck isn't doing any kind of DP minusing, so you're not going to, really get to stack this. Like, a Lord Nightmon deck would love to have this tamer. But a Dynasmon deck, not so much, because they're not really doing the same things. So, a little less relevant, but the Kari, though, the Kari is awesome. When all turns, so yours and your opponent's, when a card is removed from your security, you may suspend this tamer to gain 1 memory. This thing has been seeing a lot of play in Lord Nightmon decks. really any kind of yellow deck, just because it's like suspending and then it's passing the turn back to you. Not even yellow decks. I guess it's just kind of a tech card getting played in a lot of decks. Is just suspend this to pass the turn back to you. And then, but even more than that, in this deck where we're clearing our own security on our own turn, like suspending this to gain even more memory. So just think about something like a blinding ray going off, triggering a Kari, and also triggering a Wizardmon. You're gaining 4 memory off of a single blinding ray with Kari. So that's just whole lot of like combo potential in this deck. Like I was saying, like one card can just trigger tons of effects. So great stuff. Absolutely loving this. And then again, Dynasmon, just I just hurt myself. I gained 4 memory, and then I immediately recovered that loss that I just suffered. How absurd of combo potential is that? And just have all this memory to work with, and then just have all this other ways to gain or just have recovery. So just your opponent has a lot to work through in this deck. It's like I said, it's almost like playing against security control without having to worry about all the security options. You just have to worry about this like terrifying board that they're assembling because of this absurd amount of memory that they're getting every single turn. So really liking this deck as it is. All right, and then last up is just kind of the alternatives that I thought was really cool. War Greymon works great in this deck. With a Dynasmon on field, you're going to be able to continuously proc this effect. Turn after turn, just all right, I'm going to trash a security, and then I'm going to recover it right back because of Dynasmon. And then War Greymon's minus 6,000 double swing, 11,000 DP was always a bit risky, but now that we've got the jamming Pulsemon, so giving your War Greymon jamming, my favorite play in BT4 was Blinding Ray, take myself down to 4. For security, and then that would give me 3 memory, Digivolve into War Greymon on top of Angelmon, and then I swing with the War Greymon, use his effect to unsuspend himself, taking myself down to 3 security exactly, which is exactly what you want to do in that scenario, right? And that fits great in this deck. We're going to proc like our jamming, we're going to prop our baby to gain memory, you're doing so much. You're procking your Angelmon, so now Angelmon gets to drop 2 rookies because you're at that perfect 3 security. War Greymon is really cool in this. It's a complete different build. You're going to have a little bit less recovery. Without the Mastemon, you're not going to need as much recovery. So you can go in that War Greymon and do some really cool plays with that War Greymon. You're not going to be running the Gatomon in here, so you're going to replace that with some other things. But yeah, the War Greymon Dynasmon is in itself its own deck. I might do a deck profile of it later if people are interested, but really cool alternative instead of the Mastay build. And then Valderarm. If I'm going to be dropping Mastemon for like a War Greymon, that gives me multiple yellow megas. Absolutely can run Valderarm, no problem, because I've got plenty of targets to Digivolve. Valderarm just puts in work, just clearing off 1 big thing or 2 medium-sized threats. Great stuff. And then if your opponent ever kills it or it dies in security, gain 3 memory to make more plays. It's like, oh man, I just lost my level 7. Like that was a big loss. But at the same time, you're going to get some memory back to build up into something new off that memory that you gained. So really cool card. And then this last one was just kind of a neat tech, I guess you could do. The Kudomon is a new promo that we're getting as a box topper, and it's on play. You may return 1 Kentaurusmon, I can words, Kentaurusmon from your trash to the bottom of your deck to recover 1. On play, it's only a 3 play cost, potentially recover 1. And you're like, but I don't really want to run Kentaurusmon, right? I mean, he's a cool stall card, 5 Digimon, gets security attack +2, or security attack -2. That's cool, but anything in raising area, it's not going to touch. And tons of decks like Jesmon and the Bonds decks, they're just coming out of security and then immediately killing you. So he's not going to be able to touch those. The trick is to go Dynasmon, reveal him with the Dynasmon, and then immediately trash him with the Dynasmon effect. So that just instantly puts him into the trash for your Kudomon. I don't. It's a neat thing. I don't think I want to waste the slots though, because essentially this is just a dead card in my deck that I can't do much else with, besides this really niche play. And if I draw into it, if it feels bad. If it goes into security, it doesn't feel good. If you draw into it, it's a kind of a useless card. I think there's just better megas that you could play. It's only good if you hit it on the Dynasmon. Only good on that one play. But I did want to go ahead and mention it because I did think it was kind of neat. I know some people are definitely excited for trying this out and trying to make it work. Three memory to recover 1 is pretty cool. So, I mean, I can't argue that. 3 memory on play to recover 1 is really cool. Inheritable, though, not really relevant. On deletion, one of your opponent's Digimon gets minus 1,000 DP. As if this was a win attacking, that would be significantly better. But on deletion, I don't know what exactly that's going to do, because they've clearly already run over probably like my Mega or whatever it is. So minusing the 1,000 after the fact seems kind of flawed logic, at least for me personally. Now you can maybe go on the offensive here, crash with like a level 4, lower it by 1,000, and then swing over it. That's desperate times though when you're doing combos like that. All right, and that's going to do it for the deck. For those that skip to the end and they're thinking, what in the world is with all those ones? These last 4 here are just flex spots for things you could run in place of others. If you want to go see my reasoning, go watch the video. These 2 tamers, pick which one you prefer more, and then bump that up to a 2 of, and then drop the other one. Our level 4 pack or level 5s here, the Sirenmon I just wanted to talk about a little bit, but ultimately you're going to drop that and add in some of the other guys. And then these level 3s here is just pick 2 of the level of these 4 here, and then just bump those up to 2. Okay, so whichever 2 you like out of these 4, put those to 2, and then drop the ones you don't like. And then that's going to set you up, and you'll be good to go. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you would, please like the video and subscribe. Just a little bit of help goes a super long ways. It helps the channel out tremendously, gets my videos out there, gets them seen. And if you really, really want to support the channel, check out the links in the description below. I'll have a link for my Patreon, which is displayed right here. You can get access to my Discord server that I have, as well as you can get the memory markers that we've had. These are just a few of my favorites from the past that we've had. The current one, Impmon's baby, as well as Gabumon's baby as well, Sunomon and Yaomon. These guys are super adorable. I definitely love them so much. And every month a new one changes out, so make sure you check that out. As well as we have our new playmats. This is why I recreated this video. It's because our playmats are here finally, and they are super cool. I alternate between the black and white every single month for whoever wants to support this tier, as well as I have a tier just higher than that, so that way you don't also have to lose out on a memory marker. You can get both the memory marker and the playmat just in case you want both. Super awesome support from everyone that has supported in the past and who will support in the future. You guys are awesome. Also, if you want to check out my merch, my Teespring link is in the description below for that. We've got, the shirts that I wear on the channel that has the logo across. I love when I see people representing my merch in public. It is like one of the coolest feelings I've ever had in my entire life. Very, very awesome. As well as phone cases for you people that love Digimon like so much like I do. A friend of mine custom made all these to fit these specific phone cases themselves. So the prices are a little bit higher just because I have to pay her back, as well as make a little tiny bit of profit because of how much, unfortunately, they take for their cut for Teespring. But like I said, if you can't do any of that, please just like the video and subscribe to the channel. Every time we hit a new mile marker for subscriptions, I give out free merch of all different types. 2000K, I think we're doing one of the playmat giveaways. So definitely be subscribed and ready for when that comes.